Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 197 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Sean.
How we doing?
Fantastic. A little bit tired. Get to that in a minute. If this is the first time you're seeing, hearing, or listening to us, this is the Two Player Co-op Podcast, where every week two brothers get together to tell you everything you need to know about in the world of video games. If you like that, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, share the video with your friends, families, and everyone in between. If you really like us, you can go to patreon.com/2playercoop. Why did you go that way?
I don't know.
Just like our producers, Steve Appleton.
What is you doing?
Aunt Sue and Vernon Slayton. That's what vacation does to you. As well as our affiliate, James Solar. If you like cool t-shirts, we didn't put masks up there. I got to do that. Masks, coffee cups, stickers, coffee talk.
Cool.
Go to teespring.com/stores/2playercoop.
Coffee talk.
Remind me tomorrow at 8 a.m. to make masks. Remind me tomorrow at 8 a.m. to make masks.
Okay.
Done. I got to wear Nelly because I've gone through, this is like the third time I've gone through the office over quarantine, and I'm where Nelly just takes over Andy's job. And I'm like, I hate Andy, but Nelly is
I just saw
the
that
worst.
episode yesterday. It was like on Comedy Central or something.
Robert
on
California.
syndication.
Fascinating. Jim, sometimes nature, the wind decides which way it blows. And he's like, no, wait, no, that's not, whatever he said. It was something stupid. Whenever we get to twitching again, like I did a couple weeks ago, it will be at twitch.tv/2player_co-op. I think the only reason I haven't changed that is because I would have to make a new banner for the magic fingers.
Bruce?
Why Bruce? Bruce? Magic fingers?
No. What are you going to make?
A banner? Oh, Bruce Banner.
Get it.
No, I was confused because one of the names we thought about for a certain somebody we'll talk about here in a little bit was Bruce. And I was like, Bruce Smith. That actually, I could approve of that, but we know a friend that had a dog named Bruce. So it's like when that happens. Also, Rasan was like, you need to name him. I'm spoiler alert. We got a new dog. You need to name him Luca. And I was like, well, yes.
That's I like that.
But we have like Amy and Todd. I don't remember if you ever met them.
I don't think so.
Cooper's mom and dad and Maddie Grace.
I mean, I've probably met them.
Yeah, they had a black golden doodle that was named Luca way before Luka Doncic was the thing. I mean, he died like 4 or 5 years ago and he was 10 years old.
Luka Doncic died?
Damn it,
4 or 5 years ago.
This is going to be a good episode. Hey, every week until I am super tired, and I'll get to that here in a second, even though I already spoiled it. Every week, even though I'm very tired, I'm going to tell you until we're out of this pandemic to wear your mask. Wahoo.
Wahoo.
I'm almost beaten down because there's so many stupid people out not doing it, but I'm like, no. For the 50 or 60 or 70 people that listen to this every week, I'm going to say, wear your mask. And I'm doing my public service.
This was a public service announcement.
From Two Player Co-op. Before we get to what we've all been doing, I just have to say right here, I have a prediction. So IGN is doing a big blowout for Gamescom. Gamescom, of course, is going online only. Opening night with Jeff Keighley, I believe, is the 27th, which is Thursday. This may go live on Thursday. I'm really tired. I'm going to try to get it up on Wednesday. We're recording on Tuesday. It is a thing.
It is a thing.
Anyways, IGN's doing a big blowout for all the Gamescom online stuff. Because of that, Podcast Beyond, their PlayStation podcast, which I actually started listening to again recently after I kind of fell off it for a few months, they're going to be off for the next 2 weeks. That means in the next 2 weeks, we're going to get a price and a date and pre-order information. I'm just putting that out there.
Oops. Yeah, I think I predicted 2-3 weeks ago that we would have price and release date, but not pre-order date by the end of the month. And we're running out of
We're getting
time.
pretty close. Supposedly we're getting Nintendo Direct this week, but I think at this point we're recording Tuesday night. Nothing is broken. Although a lot of times they do like to announce those a day ahead of time. Who knows? But that's just my prediction. Also, there was some Halo Infinite news this week. I don't know if it's legit or not. Thank you for liking my tweet. That Halo Infinite might not only be delayed more than a year, but they may drop Xbox One support entirely. And there hasn't been a lot of people saying what I've been saying, but I've been saying for months now that there's some major mixed messaging coming out of Microsoft when it comes to smart delivery. You don't have to upgrade your Xbox to the next generation, all this other stuff. And their flagship title for the Series X was also going to be available on the Xbox One. We're not really going to talk about it. It's just, to me, because it's just one person, although when VGC has been reporting on stuff, they were the ones that broke this. They've got a really good track record since they just appeared in my timeline out of nowhere when I never followed them. Obviously, they took over an old account that I followed, and I don't even know what it was. But there are rumors going around that Xbox is thinking about dropping completely the Xbox One version of Halo Infinite. To me, honestly, I think that's a smart decision. We've had other stories coming out this week that both on Xbox and PlayStation, developing games cross-generation is a huge headache. I believe that. I believe it was like that with the PS3 and the PS4, the 360 and the One, and going back generation and generation. I believe it. I think the best thing that Microsoft can do and 343 can do is to cut the Xbox One version that looks like a 360 game of Halo Infinite and just say we're going all out for the Series X. It'll be ready when it's ready. I still don't, there's no way they go past next year. There's no way, especially since next year, like we talked about, is the 20th anniversary of Halo. There's no way they go past next year. But I won't be shocked if they just say, the heck with it. Phil, you can figure it out. But it's just, I had to share the laughing Michael Scott. What was that, Michael Scott? What I was looking for was the GIF when, I said GIF and then GIF. The GIF when he gives Oscar the Scarecrow. That was the one I did? Okay, that's what I wanted
I think that's what that is.
He has the lowest opinion of me of anyone. I cannot wait till the office ladies get to the good. Well, it'll be incredibly sad, but the Goodbye Michael episode, which I assume they will have Steve Carell on for, to just be like, I want to know how, because that was not, to me, that wasn't acting. To me, that was somebody came up and just tickled the crap out of him or something to get him laughing.
No, I mean, that's
hard.
just, but he laughs like that.
That's the hardest he ever laughed in the show. Right?
The only other one I can think of is when there's the episode The Surplus, where they're trying to figure out if they want to get a new copy machine or new chairs, and then Jim and all them take him out to lunch.
Oh yeah.
And then when they come back, they're all like laughing, and
Jim
just like,
goes, ha, 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 to pain. Yeah.
And like Michael's just cracking up. He laughs pretty hard there. He's got a pretty good fake laugh.
So I don't know.
That's Steve Carell. He's quite talented.
He is. I wish I were him. Am.
Forever will be.
What do you think about Halo Infinite? Do you think it's right that if they do, as much as it'll suck for people that didn't want to get a Series X, for the future of the franchise and for the betterment of that game itself, which is going to be essentially a platform going forward, do you think it's the right move, or does it just suck? I think it sucks,
yes,
and it's
both.
the right move.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely the right move. Did you see, was it McCaffrey's tweet about how he's kind of changed his mind on the whole thing about he didn't used to think that games, making games for the previous and new, or current and new generation wasn't going to be a detriment to the games on the new generation and whatnot, and now he's kind of coming around. He's like, no, I think I've come around. And
how can you not think it's a detriment? Look at
look at Halo.
Well, look at Halo, but I'm saying going back to the last new console, like Watch Dogs, before they ever said what consoles it was coming out on, the initial trailer was way more than they could deliver on. Why? Because it came out on PS3 and 360 as well. Same with Assassin's Creed, same with Call of Duty Ghosts, same with insert name here for third-party title. It's going to kill your development. So I do remember seeing that, and I was like, I don't know why this is news to you. Maybe it's just because it's like when it hits the first party, not third party, maybe that's what it is. But yeah.
Yeah. But no, I absolutely think it's the right move. I also think it's kind of funny that they're just going against everything they've been saying this whole time. But I do think it's the right move.
So we'll see. If anything real happens from it, we will let you know first. Or 7th. DC Fandome. We're going to get to the games here in a little bit, but first I want to talk about the movies. First off, before DC Fandome even kicked off, one of my dreams came true. You heard that? Bullfrog. Was my ultimate dream is that Metal Gear Solid 3 gets remade in the Fox engine. That did not come true, and it never will. My second biggest dream is that because for all the DC Fandome commercials, they were playing Superman's theme. Am I correct? Over the commercial.
I don't know if I saw him.
They were playing Superman's theme. I was like, Man of Steel 2's coming. That didn't come true. But my third biggest dream was that Batfleck would come back. And it's freaking happening. And everything you're hearing from the producers of... So the news is that not only is Affleck back as Batman, Michael freaking Keaton is back as Batman also for the Flash movie. And I went from... When they announced the Flash movie a few years ago, I was like, even if they do Flashpoint, I don't care. To where I am now, where both Ben Affleck, who all the reports that have been coming out say he is so freaking energized about coming back to play Batman in the Flash movie. And I don't have any hopes that the DCEU is going to continue. It's clearly not. But I think it's a good way for him to have a good send-off in addition to another movie that we'll talk about in a little bit. I'm so happy. And I'm so, even though I didn't really like or ever buy Michael Keaton as Batman, he is so freaking awesome that the fact that these two Batmen are going to be in the Flash movie, which they're saying is going to open up the whole parallel universes and the multiverse and all this other stuff, which I think is what really... DC clearly cannot beat Marvel at Marvel's game. So just get weird. Just go with the Spider-Verse route. Huh?
I said, let's get nuts.
Yeah, let's get nuts. Like, and Affleck is on board. He's happy. He's energized. Everything I wanted. And then I've seen all these reports coming out about it was actually Jeff Johns that killed Affleck's The Batman movie, which was going to be set in Arkham, which they didn't like, that it was going to be set in there with all these villains, and Manganiello is Deathstroke. I'm like, there's some people still holding out hope. It's going to come to HBO Max as a series or something. It's not. Please don't do that. The fact that we even got the Snyder Cut coming is ridiculous. What do you think about Batfleck and Keaton coming to the Flash movie? What was your hype level for Flash before this announcement? Mine was a 2.
If it was going to be Flashpoint, pretty high. I mean, like, I just think that's such a cool... That to me, that seems like a can't miss. I would say it's a 7 or 8. Now,
but rumors said they were going away from Flashpoint.
Well, but that's if it was not going to be Flashpoint, then 3 or 4. Yeah. I mean, maybe I'd be surprised, like I was with Shazam, whatever.
And I love Ezra Miller.
Yeah,
he's awesome as a Flash, and he's getting a new suit. Apparently, did you see the concept art? It looks more like the Flash suit from the comics and from the TV show and everything. With Ezra Miller. And he's in front of Michael Keaton's Batman.
I did see that. Yeah, I saw that shot. I guess I didn't realize it was a new costume, but I don't really... I'm trying to think. It reminds me of something, this whole Flashpoint thing, and I'm trying to think of what. It's giving me some kind of vibes of some other thing, and I can't put my finger on it, but... I'm looking forward to it. I think it's cool. Maybe it's Spider-Verse. I mean, but even that was kind of a new thing. But I think it's cool that Keaton's coming back. I think it's cool that Affleck's coming back. But I don't know in what kind of capacity. Like
they both supposedly play a quote major role in the film.
Really?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
I mean. That's pretty cool.
Let me see if I can find the screenshot I did. Keep talking.
No, I mean, I don't know much about. I mean, I get the basic gist behind Flashpoint, but
no, I got the wrong screenshot. It just says that they're both in it.
If they can take something like Shazam that had no right being as good as it was, this seems like this can't miss. Now, it also seems like Batman versus Superman couldn't miss, and it did. So I'm excited, but I'm also not expecting it to be, like super duper crazy. But I think it'll be good. I'm excited.
I'm way more hyped than I was before this announcement. So also a DC Fandome, before we get to the two big ones, at least for us. We talked about the Flash movie. Shazam 2 is called Shazam Fury of the Gods. Yes, more Shazam. I'm in. Please, God, let Henry Cavill show up in the damn movie. Black Adam, you had a cool thing narrated by The Rock. It was all concept art because they haven't even started filming because 2020. So on board. I'm so on board. If they ever... Like, I'm dreaming of Henry... I'm not really dreaming, but, like... I'm nerding out about Henry Cavill and Shazam going up against the freaking Rock. Are you kidding me? So it's happening. But
I don't know much about Black Adam, but like
I know almost nothing. All I know is it's the Rock, and he's a anti-hero that's going to fight Zachary Levi's Shazam, and maybe Henry Cavill Superman. I don't need to know anything else. I mean,
but like he's a dude. He's more or less a guy. Like, he's not Doomsday or whatever.
But he's
like,
5,000 years old.
Okay, but, like, Superman's Superman.
Yeah.
This comes back to the same thing with, like, how do you make Superman... Yeah. Why does Superman need help?
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. I don't know.
It sounds great. I can't wait for it.
And the other thing I don't get,
yes.
and I think we talked about this, because I'm going to make the same point I did whenever it was that we talked about it, but I know DC... is trying to say, we're not going to have this whole universe. We're not doing what Marvel did, whatever.
Yeah.
But
okay.
And even
but they are.
But they are. And there's no way you can't, otherwise you don't have a thing. Like, it's already going to be weird enough that you've got, here comes the Batman. And then, are we to believe that...
Is he young Batfleck?
Is he young Exactly. Right. Or is he
Batfleck.
a totally different universe? And you've got... Keaton, and you've got Affleck, and now you've got Pattinson.
Some people are wondering if
these are three different Batmen.
Some people are wondering if Batfleck is going to show up in the Flash as well. I don't think so because I think Matt Reeves is like, y'all step off. I'm not Christopher Nolan, but I'm pretty close, and I'm going to make my trilogy, and it's going to rock, and it takes place. And they did say, we'll get to it here, the Batman is outside of the Justice League. That was what the term they used was outside of the Justice League, which means I guess that's what they're calling what used to be the DCEU. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, but then you've got, I mean, rumors obviously, but like you got the whole Flashpoint stuff. Then you're talking, is Superman gonna appear in Shazam? And like there's all this crossover stuff. Yet they're trying to say, well, we're not doing this whole universe
Superman was already in Shazam.
Well,
without his head. And without Henry Cavill.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited.
That was one thing I did forget to say. I could talk about in the Snyder Cut, but whatever. On the live stream, you had Affleck and Cavill. Affleck, he's not Fat Fleck anymore. Like, what he looked like in Joss Whedon's horrible reshoots of Justice League, you could... it was right. Like, he was on the... And I'm not trying to make fun of anything, obviously. It was right on the verge of him going to rehab. He was in horrible shape. He was bloated. He was in a bad place. But like seeing him on this stream, I was like, that's Ben Affleck from The Town. That's Ben Affleck from Batman vs Superman. That is my Batman. And I was so Henry Cavill's just like a Greek god. I mean, an English god, I guess. But like to see Affleck like happy and in shape. I was so happy.
Not sad flick.
Yeah. You want to sing it? I'll do this. YouTube.com/shootplayerco-op. All right. Also, we got a character trailer for the Suicide Squad. And not seeing anything of this movie, I'm like, this is going to be... First off, James Gunn's directing it. Guardians of the Galaxy, hello. John Cena is playing somebody I've never heard of before in my life, and I cannot wait to see it. Idris Elba's in this. Harley Quinn looks like she came right out of the Arkham games.
Yeah.
Captain Boomerang, probably like the second or third best part of the original Suicide Squad movie, is in it. Like the Jai Courtney's in it. Rick Flag, what's his name? Joel Kinnaman with his short hair, long hair, short hair. It'll probably all be the same length in this because there's this whole movement now going for release the Ayer cut. I'm like, you got to stop. Like, Suicide Squad at its best was like a 5 out of 10. Justice League at its best was maybe an 8 out of 10. Maybe. I could be completely wrong. I could completely eat those words, and I probably will.
That is awfully generous.
But just stop. But like, what did you think about the character and Viola Davis is back as Amanda Waller? Like,
I'm confused on like whether you're talking canon or real life. Like, what is this, a remake? Is it a like all of the characters that are in both are the same?
I think,
like, is this movie going to pretend that one never happened,
yes,
even though it's all the same actors?
That's what I get from it. I think they've called it like a soft reboot or something.
Yeah.
But this is probably what the first movie should have been. Nothing against David Ayer, but as soon as he put Joker the way he did, it was, even if he was the villain, it wasn't going to work. And Jared, yeah, well, she shouldn't have been the villain. It should have been Joker or Deathstroke. But I digress. Jared Leto could have been right up there with Joaquin and Heath if they didn't do what they did with a damaged head. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. So we know nothing about this movie other than it has 150 people in it. So many people are going to die. I love John Cena. I hope I see his head explode just because like everybody should, there's so many people in this. It should really get down to like Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang. Is Deadshot in this? Because Will's not back, so Deadshot's not in this.
I don't think he is. No.
There's so many characters, I can't remember them all. The King Shark is in it. Yeah, I'll save it. Put a finger up for King Shark for the games. Because I know who's voicing him. I don't know if you saw that. Okay. I'm excited for it. Knowing nothing else about it, I'm excited for it. And I'm glad that it's so under wraps. There's not been like, as soon as they started filming the Batman outside, I was like, here's Batfleck. There he is on his motorcycle. I'm like, I don't know if I like the suit. We'll talk about it here in a minute. So many fingers.
I'm excited. It looks good. Like you said, we don't really know much about it, but it seems like it's just going to be over the top, just insanity. It looks way better, and I'm not trying to hate. I know a lot of people loved it. I just couldn't bring myself to care about it. To me, it looks way better than Birds of Prey.
I never saw it. It's supposed to be so good, but I'm like,
people apparently loved it. I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. I don't know. Other than Harley Quinn, none of the characters really interest me. And in this, it's like, well, I don't know much about any of them. Right. Yeah.
There's like personalities we know, but then also that character trailer showed what the personalities will be in this movie. And it was like, I don't know. I was shocked that I watched it and I was like, I have no idea who 75% of these characters are, and I want to see this movie. Idris Elba is just some Bloodsport, I think is his name. All I know is Jean-Claude goes, that's all I know about Bloodsport. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm so excited for it. I can't to be a DC fan, you have to be so excited, or a DC movie fan, I will say. You have to be more excited after this weekend than you've been since they announced Batman vs Superman. Then the movie came out. We know.
Yeah.
They also showed a trailer for Wonder Woman 1984. And I'll tell you what, I was all aboard the hype train. And I know it's early, and I know they'll fix it before it comes out, but it's coming out in October, so maybe they won't. The second Kristen Wiig showed up as Taylor Swift from Cats, I was like, I don't think I can do this. Like,
it was very underwhelming. Like, I'm looking forward to the movie. I think it'll be good. but I have not been at the hype level that most everybody else seems to be.
I was more
about
hyped for
this.
the first one.
But it's got the whole like 80s vibe. Like it
Steve
should
Trevor's
be good.
back. We don't know why, although I think it's pretty clear she made a wish to Mr. Bad Guy, Pedro Pascal, and he's like, okay, and then he's probably gonna. I'm just gonna predict now he dies in another plane explosion. Spoiler alert for the first movie.
Yeah, I don't know. It was I can't take Kristen Wiig seriously.
Well, I will say
B as like a threat to Wonder Woman.
I will say when she's Kristen Wiig in the trailers that we've seen, I kind of buy it. But
She's a good actress. Like I believe I can. Yeah, I guess I can believe her as like a psychological.
Yes. Yep. But as soon as she's a cat,
right? Yeah.
And she's jumping all nimbly bibbly around the screen, I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. And Ernie was saying the same thing. He's like, that CGI. I'm really hoping they made this trailer like 6 months ago. Honestly. Yeah. I mean, I want to see it. I really hope they do the VOD thing, even though Warner Brothers has pretty much been against that. I'll see Tenet at some point. God, I cannot wait. It's doing pretty good on Rotten Tomatoes. It was like above an 80.
Really?
Yeah. I want this movie to be great. I do want to know, first off, they never should have killed Chris Pine. He should have been Green Lantern, second of all. Third of all, I'm glad he's back, and I want to know why. I just feel like I care about those two characters more than I'm going to care about whatever the hell's going on in this movie.
Yeah, this seems one that's just going to be like, I like seeing these characters. I dig the overall vibe of the movie, but in the end, I don't really care too much about what is the story, and it gets back to the whole thing about not having this whole universe that it's hard to everything in the MCU, like you probably can't find a single movie that didn't somehow affect Endgame.
They all,
in some
whether
way,
they were
shape,
good or
form.
bad, they all mattered.
Right. This, it's like it's hard to see of what consequence.
Yeah. So 31 years later, she showed up to fight Doomsday, and Steve Trevor's dead again. So I'm assuming he's dying in this movie. But then again, in that movie, she says 100 years ago, I walked away from mankind. But then, did you walk back in the 80s? I don't know. Yeah. As much as I love Zack Snyder, he put him in a rough spot.
Yeah.
All right, but there was 2 big trailers, and I promise you we'll get to video games here in a minute. Even though it leaked early, and I saw it before it was taken down, I watched it multiple times again. We finally got the trailer for Zack Snyder's Justice League, set to Hallelujah, which I think is hilarious for so many reasons. Apparently, there's a weird love scene in Watchmen set to Hallelujah where somebody just gets like obliterated, like it's like whatever. But it's also Hallelujah, like we finally got this movie made. It's really it's Zack Snyder picturing Zack when Henry Cavill comes out in Man of Steel, when he comes out of the spaceship and he does the Jesus Christ pose. It's Zack Snyder thinking Zack Snyder is Henry Cavill as Superman doing Jesus Christ. But I digress. I don't get why people look, y'all been clowning on #release the Snyder Cut for almost 3 years now. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Me, I'm going to enjoy the hell out of these 4-hour-long episodes whenever it comes out as much as I can. Because do I think it will be a great movie? Or series at this point, I guess you would call it. Miniseries. I don't even know. You can't even call it a movie. 4 hours. Good or bad, I want to know what Zack was trying to do. We've seen Darkseid. I think they're going to fix the CGI up a little bit. He did look a little weird in the hood. But he had a vision from Man of Steel to Batman vs. Superman to Justice League 2, and I think there was supposed to be another Superman movie in there somewhere. I don't remember what there was one other movie that I can't remember what it was. But I want to know, the only reason we didn't get Zack Snyder's Justice League to begin with was because the man's daughter committed suicide in March of 2017, so he obviously stepped away from Justice League. Then they brought in Joss Whedon to completely kill the DCEU, and he did a great job at it. I will, to the day I die, I will believe that he was sent in as a Marvel spy to kill the DCEU. And I'm not even talking like I really do believe that. Like, how can you think that what you gave us? You start the movie with Sean, look at me. My planet stands for hope. Like the mustache CGI. Like, why would you open that movie on that shot unless you want people to hate it? Like, no one looked at that and was like, that looks awesome. It was just like, well, we got hit November. Whatever, who cares? Joss, you're the man. Justice League. I'm so excited for it. 4-hour-long episodes, like I said. We see Superman apparently is in the black regeneration suit the entire movie. Hallelujah. Like, he's fighting Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf looks super CGI, but he looks better than, like, I'm not Thanos, but I'm here and I have an axe. And I look like a man, but they couldn't just hire a man to play me. Like, he looks like what Steppenwolf did in the deleted scene from Batman versus Superman, which was in the Ultimate Edition, where Lex goes into the Genesis chamber, and he shows up showing him the 3 mother boxes. He's got the spikes and everything. That's what he looks like in Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's what Zack wanted him to look like, not this horrible, crappy CGI. I remember when we watched this movie, I was like, oh yeah, Thanos is all CGI, and you Marvel fanboys are saying that Justice League is dumb because Steppenwolf's all CGI. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, he looks like crap. He looks and he's such a boring villain. He's very
boring.
He's probably still a boring villain in this, but you still have you have Darkseid and Apocalypse looking over everything. And the fact that I love that he can do these like, I wonder what his trailers would have looked like before they said, yeah, Superman's obviously back. Like, Superman's in this trailer a lot. He's in the black suit the entire time. They show the ending shot, except now you see where they weren't just posing for no stupid reason. They're standing there waiting for Batman's jet to come in. They can jump in it and fly away. And I would love to see if Zack Snyder has Batman shoot through the stupid force field with one rocket. I would love to see if that's in this. Also, he did say this one thing I will say I disagree with. Zack Snyder said, somebody asked him on Vero, for crying out loud. I only see the post on Instagram by Zack Snyder accounts I follow. Hey, Zack, does Superman say, do you bleed in the Snyder Cut? And Zack replied, no, that makes absolutely no sense. I have a bone to pick, because as bad as Justice League was, when he said to Batman with his mangled face, tell me, do you bleed? I was like, I think that makes perfect sense.
I don't get.
It makes perfect sense because Batman's,
if it wasn't a callback, then it makes no sense. Like
obviously,
hey,
a human bleeds. What are you talking about?
Do you bleed? What?
Like, Batman's line to Superman saying, "Do you bleed?" was awesome. Superman just finally being like, looking at him, going, "I know you," and then Batman's a high school girl, and he's like, no, and then he grabs him, he pulls him up, and he's like, "Tell me, do you bleed?" I think that was the one thing that Joss Whedon got right with Justice League was, do you bleed? So I get it, because he said he's not including a single frame that Joss Whedon shot in this movie. So I get it, but I do think tonally it fit. Now, when he throws him down, he's like, Batman's like, something's bleeding. And he's on like the fake grass. I'm like, this looks like I shot this with Sean in a Batman suit as Christian Bale. Like, it didn't look right, but. What did you think about the Snyder Cut? I've talked enough. You're not as crazy as I am. So what did you think from an objective standpoint?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm intrigued by it. No part of me believes that this is just going to be like Endgame. Like, this is still going to be.
And I don't need there to be clear. Yes,
Justice League is like a 5 or 6 out of 10.
It's Thor 1.
If this is like an 8 out of 10, I will be like, thank you.
If it's better than Batman versus Superman Ultimate Edition, I will be so happy. Yeah. Which I consider about a 7 out of 10.
My only thing is, now I don't know how much, like, is the overall story going to be the same?
It seems like it, yeah. The overarching, now, the big
if
thing
the
is, I don't know,
overarching story is the same.
But wait, I don't know how Darkseid. the things that I heard about the Snyder Cut before it actually became a reality was that like Darkseid was telling Steppenwolf to go do this thing. And at the end, the Justice League still does beat Steppenwolf, who admittedly is not a good villain. But then when he gets sucked up the boom tube, when all the parademons are eating him and stuff, you see him looking down, and that was the whole thing was it was just to set up Justice League 2. So I think the overarching story, is it arching or arcing? Because I never know the best way to say it.
I say arching.
Okay. The overarching story, I think, will be the same. But like even in this trailer, almost none of these shots were in the movie. Some of them were in trailers. Like now it's clear when I remember when that trailer came out, when Batfleck was looking at something floating in a hologram. People were like, is that Green Lantern? I'm like, it's Superman. He's like, man, I miss Superman. And now they zoom out and like, yeah, there's Superman floating. He's like, man, we got to get this dead dude back. So I think the overall overarching story will be the same with added elements.
To me, it's just like not a whole lot happens during the course of that movie. Like, no. Superman's dead. Okay, well, he comes back.
When you see Cyborg like beating the ground to get to him, not just like, hey man, let's make some jokes while we dig up a dead superhero. Pet Cemetery. Like, I guarantee no one says Pet Cemetery in this movie.
So like Steppenwolf shows up, gets these boxes. I just feel like not a whole lot really happened. And now there's 4 hours of it. So unless there's a lot more, obviously but then there's more stuff added, otherwise it wouldn't be 4 hours, but like, does it matter? Like, this does not seem like a 4 hour story.
The problem is it doesn't matter because it's not going to lead to anything. As much as I would love to actually say, what the hell? We're going with the Elseworlds and multiple universes and stuff. We're going to do Justice League 2. What the hell? It's not. But, like, I remembered hearing that he had shot, like, 4 hours or 4 hours and 20 minutes of footage when like, the Snyder Cut rumors really started picking up steam. So the fact that he's going to have 4 hour-long episodes is still, I mean, honestly, if I wasn't a DC fan, look, I get it. I'd be laughing until the end of the day. But I got to think, like, did you think it was ridiculous when they said there's a 3 hour cut of Batman vs. Superman? Probably.
But 3 hours is still like a movie. That Batman vs. Superman, even though the way they did it was kind of ridiculous, that's a 3 hour movie. Like, that makes sense to me. Justice League, in general, you could probably make a 4 hour movie, but the way it was done doesn't seem like it justifies a 4 hour movie.
No, but I do think, so what I think happened is,
I think if this is, I mean, obviously, if Snyder, if all the stuff that happened never happened, obviously, this would not have been a 4 hour movie.
It would have been a 2.5 hour movie.
That's probably what we need to see.
That's what I worry about is that, and that's one thing I do wonder.
This is just going to be like,
here's everything I got.
Vomit, just here's everything. Blah,
well, I don't think it's going to be
just hey, here's an actual movie.
I think there's going to be, if I can be objective for 1 second, I do think it's going to be a lot of slow, boring stuff in between ridiculously awesome moments. Because if Zack Snyder can do anything right, it's like action set pieces. Like,
how are these being released? Is
it
all out
at
once?
Said no.
Otherwise, just make it a movie.
What I assume
like weekly,
is
monthly.
They want everybody to at least sign up for HBO Max for a month, which is probably the reason they're doing. So it'll be 1 week after another. I do wonder if they're going to end up doing. I assume it will after it's been out on HBO Max for a while and everybody's canceled. They'll release it on Blu-ray. I'll buy it unless it's just garbage. But I own the original Justice League, so who am I? Who is Karim Garcia?
Who is Karim Garcia?
But like, I do think there's going to be a lot of stuff that like doesn't. Not that it doesn't work, but it doesn't keep your attention.
I'm wondering how much of the fairly forced humor, like, is this going to have?
There will be none.
You don't. Will it have like?
I think it'll have
Just like a bat. I'll dig it. Like, will that be in there?
It was a reshoot, so probably not. But I think there will be some. I think he was adding a little bit because there were set reports when he was still filming it that people said there's humor in this movie. They're listening. They're not completely changing course, but they're course correcting a little bit.
They better leave the Flash Superman that. Like, they got to leave that in.
So that fight is in the movie. Now, what I wonder is, like, there's that one shot in it where he's hovering above before he goes to fight. Well, maybe it's after because I think he's in the black suit. But he's hovering above one of the buildings in Metropolis, and Lois looks up at him. And you could barely see him, but you can see it's Superman with black suit, black cape, and it's like, oh my God. Zack had, because I've seen all these behind-the-scenes things, Zack had the Superman versus Justice League fight. What I wonder is if it can even be better than it was, because to me, honestly, except for the horrible like green screen of like, oh, here's Metropolis, and like here's fire. I'm like, no, I could have done that in iMovie. I wonder if it'll be better, because that fight is awesome, and that moment, that is weird because he said he's not keeping any. Well, he didn't say he's not keeping anything from Justice League. He said Justice League had about 25% of his shots. So that's probably going to be in there because it's perfection.
Yes.
He said he's not including anything that Joss Whedon shot. I agree with him because he was a Marvel spy. So. One more trailer, Sean. Like I told Ernie, I am sorry, Batfleck. I was so wrong. You burped in the middle of my moment.
I know.
Yeah, they heard it. I heard it. You're president. So we got a teaser for the Batman. They've only shot 25 to 30% of this movie, and I was like, it'll probably be a good trailer. So a little bit of background here. It is a year 2 Batman story. I wonder if this will be the first like new Batman movie to not show his parents die. I don't think they can. I think it's
we don't need to see it again. Like,
but they have to. I think
it.
it's like copyright. You have to show his parents die. But like it's year 2 Batman. It explains the suit. Like when he walks onto the screen, you just see boots. It's like, I could buy those boots. Those aren't Batman boots, but that's why it's cool. Like he's still figuring out what to do. It's year 2. It is separate from the Justice League. And it will show a version of Riddler that fans aren't used to. I'm already in my mind.
Now, who's Riddler?
Paul Dano. And I don't know who that. I know the name, but I can't picture what he looks like.
If it's who I think it is, I think that could be good.
Well, what I'm thinking is, so first off, the trailer blew me.
Yeah, that guy.
Let me see.
He's kind of weird looking.
Okay, but I think the Riddler in this trailer is the guy in the mask that's duct taping people. And if it is, first off, I want this kind of Riddler. Like, I was watching Angry Joe today, and I was like, I wish I didn't even watch this, but I was thinking this before he said it. His reaction in the trailer is like, we want a serious Riddler. We don't want Jim Carrey. And even Riddler in the Arkham games, as good as those were, he was still like over the top. And here's 275,000 puzzles that you need to solve to get a little trophy.
But I feel like it's tough to make. Joker can be done. Like, I feel like they're trying to do with Riddler what Heath did for Joker. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I mean, it's going to be cool, but it's also going to be like, that's not really Riddler. I don't know.
The one thing, so Rasan said to me after he watched the trailer, he was like, those thugs look like Joker thugs. And I was like, yeah, but they're not. Riddler's the big bad in this, whatever. And then I was like, those guys do look like Joker thugs. What if, I don't know if this had been said by anybody else. I'm sure it has. I went to the point where I was like, oh my God, what if it's not really Riddler? What if Paul Dano is in the movie, but he's freaking Joker? Now, those thugs also, they don't look like Riddler thugs. They could be Joker thugs. They also could be Penguin thugs. How the hell is that Colin Farrell? I don't know. If you look from like here,
it's like
to
the
here,
eyes.
Yeah. He's under about 20 pounds of makeup. Zoe Kravitz looks awesome as Catwoman. She's not a fully formed Catwoman, is what they said, but she's got the mask on. I'm guessing it's just her hair that has the little points come up. And I'm like, I get that. There was a moment in the trailer, one finger, where Joe didn't even talk about it, but he was slowing it down, skipping around. Right before Batman when he does the grapple hook and he goes up, people are shooting and stuff. There's a shot that it's so quick in the trailer. If you don't stop it, you won't see it. Somebody full out goes, and they shoot him in the chest right at the bat symbol. And if you slow it down frame by frame, he shoots him in the chest, and it's almost
right in the bad dudes.
right in the bad dudes. Bad dudes. And it absorbs. It's just like super Kevlar, and it's like almost like lava's hitting it, and it's like red orange color, and it just expands, and he's like and then it cuts right away. So it's literally blink and you miss it. And then can we just talk about, like, I was wrong. Again, I was wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. I was so wrong. I still don't know about him as Bruce Wayne. So I will say that. Because when he's just sitting there like Dwight with Jim's hair. when he doesn't have the eye makeup on, I have no problem with the eye makeup. I friggin' love the eye makeup, because what the hell, people?
You can't just pretend it's not there.
You can't. I remember when I figured this out growing up, I was like, so Batman's eye holes aren't just the size of his eye, like his eye ball, but like ball with like eyelid open. You know what I mean? It's not the size of his eye socket. I was like, so he's wearing makeup. Okay, well, why the hell every time he goes, and even Affleck, as much as I love Batfleck, he's walking up the Batcave, and he turns around, he's just. I like the fact that Batfleck in this, and I'm going to keep calling him that, I don't care, has like running eye makeup. He should. Like, man. So I got distracted there. When that dude comes up and they're like, who are you? And the guy takes a swing, block, wham, 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 wham. Wham, 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 and he goes down, and he goes wham, wham, and then he starts hammer fisting him like Brock did to Randy Orton 4 years ago. Bam, bam, bam. And then it cuts back to the guys, and they're like, "Holy crap, we're gonna die!" And it cuts back to Batfleck, and he says, "I'm vengeance." And it's such a good. I will also say, first off, before I forget, the music in this trailer is perfect, perfect. When he says "I'm vengeance" in his Batman voice. It's not a robot voice like Batfleck, which I get why they did it, but I don't like it. And it's like, it's in between Michael Keaton and Val Kilmer and, God damn it, George Clooney. Just talking like they're George Clooney and Val Kilmer and Michael Keaton.
Hey guys, I'm Vengeance.
I'm Vengeance. And it's in between that and Christian Bale getting more and more over the top with every movie. It just had a little bit of growl to it, and I loved it. And I do wonder... I didn't come up with this, but I was watching Jeremy Johns. He loved the trailer too. He was saying he'd wonder if he says, "I'm vengeance, I am the night, I am Batman." He wonders if they just cut before he goes through the rest of it. I don't know. I was absolutely blown away from this trailer. People have supposedly decoded the Riddler's riddle in this trailer, and I'm like, Rasan said it's lame. I'm like, I don't care if it's lame or cool. I'm not clicking it. He said it doesn't say Joker's in the end credits. I'm like, thanks, Rasan. But like, and seeing him like moving in the suit, it's so much. As much as I like the little teaser that Matt Reeves did when they showed the suit with weird red lighting and stuff, seeing him in normal lighting and seeing him grappling hook and stuff, I'm like. And the friggin' Batmobile is just like a 96 Camaro with like a friggin' jet engine. This seems so cool. And I'm to the point now where when I first saw the suit, I was like, okay, it'll be a suit, but he'll get a new one by the end. He doesn't need to get a new one until the next movie. Like, this is his second year on the job. He's still figuring everything out. I cannot believe how wrong I was and how into this movie I am based on one trailer. And I don't see how... Now, I know I said this about Batman vs. Superman. I don't see how this movie could be anything but amazing. Like, Matt Reeves knows what he's doing. And while I was hating on Twilight Batman when it was announced, I did say I have to stop and just say Matt Reeves knows what he's doing. Clearly... He knew what he was doing. What did you think about the Batman teaser trailer?
I'm very, very, very excited for this. I know I've been since the beginning, like, I don't even know if this movie's happening. I'll believe it when I see it, whatever. For the record.
It's happening.
Now, I don't know. I would have to go back and watch because I don't really remember what I've said. But I don't think I ever had a problem with Pattinson.
You did. I don't think you did.
I was just like, yeah, I could kind of see it. But I will say.
Oh, let me find what Ernie said.
I mean, Bale, as of right now, Bale is my Batman. I would not be completely shocked if Pattinson takes that. Like, I think I love him as Batman. I love, like, Keaton, Kilmer, Clooney.
No.
I will
say,
none of them really
wait.
believable as Batman.
I thought Kilmer was more than the other two.
Maybe. But, like, I don't like
Top Gun.
that Batman.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck, he was good. He was just in bad movies. But, like, I don't really, even though
he was in one
I
really bad
just
movie.
really, I don't know. I like Bale's Batman, just like a more normal looking, like Ben Affleck. Yeah.
I would be scared to death if he showed up in an alley.
Yeah.
6'2", 240, no thank you.
But, like, I like his look. It definitely reminds me of Bale. I like that everything just seems very, like, dark and, like, you know, like, I don't know. I love
like,
the atmosphere of this movie.
Yeah, it's like it's grounded, but it's also not afraid to take it to not camp. It's not campy at all, clearly. This is going to sound bad based on 1 2-minute trailer. I feel like this is the movie that Batman Begins. As much as I love that movie, I feel like this is going to be the movie that Batman Begins was wanting to be.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think this will be better than Begins. I mean, I know that's very early. No, I'm not. No,
Okay.
I'm not going that far. But as of right now, hype level is this. I don't want to say expecting, but hopeful that this is my second favorite Batman movie ever.
Oh my God, if it is.
Now,
then,
I like Rises, I think, a lot more than a lot of people.
Yeah.
Batman Begins is okay. Whatever.
See, I like Begins better. Rises is it's weird in some spots, but it's still a solid 8 out of 10 to me.
Yeah.
But I do think, actually, if I were ranking my Batman movies, which we should do that sometime. We announced that like a year and a half ago. And now Kind of Funny's doing it, so now we are copycats. Dark Knight, obviously, it's up here, and then everything else is a drop off. I think it's Dark Knight, Begins, and then I think it's honestly Batman Returns. As much as I don't like Michael Keaton, I don't buy him as Batman. I buy him as Bruce Wayne for sure. And I think that's maybe one of the things they were going for is it's an everyman. Batman can be anybody, he's a symbol, blah, blah, blah. I think Batman Returns was easily my favorite of those 89/90s Batman movies, and it's not even close to me. Because Michelle Pfeiffer was the best Catwoman ever. Max Schreck was awesome. Danny DeVito is a penguin. Like, it was so good. And then I think it's probably, honestly, it's Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Edition and Rises fighting for number 4. Wow. Batman 89, like, I like Jack Nicholson, but it doesn't
none of
hold
the
up
pre-Begins movies.
Not even
to me, they
Returns?
didn't age well. Like, they're okay, but they're just so 90s and 80s. Like, they're just so.
They are.
And it's one of those things that, like, to me, that's not how Batman should be. And I know that's how he kind of was back then, but, like, there's lots of cheesy 80s and 90s movies that I still adore.
Mm-hmm.
Batman, once you've seen how cool Batman can be, it all of a sudden makes all those movies just be like, oh God. Like, well, even 89 and Returns that aren't over the top campy.
Well, he's got an army of penguins going. As much as I love, and he's eating fish in City Hall. Like,
I mean, they're pretty. I don't know.
But remember,
to me,
when we were kids, we fell into the reruns, obviously, because we weren't born in 1966 or anywhere near there. Where I'm old, but I'm not that old. Like, I can remember us watching, especially, like, it feels like it was in summer, like at Graham's house or something, watching Batman, the Batman 66 TV show.
I remember watching it on the little tiny kitchen TV, but at home.
Maybe that's what it was.
I remember watching a little TV.
But I loved it. And I was like, it's Batman. He's funny. He goes, sock, wham, boom,
but
shark
we were
repellent.
Stupid kids.
We were stupid,
like, we didn't
idiot
know
kids.
better.
Like, that's, I don't, if I were to rate if we ever did Batman in review and we included the Batman 66 movie, this is what I think. I don't care what anybody says. Below Batman and Robin. Because it's even more Batman. It's Batman and Robin. I know it's self-aware, whereas I guess Batman and Robin was a little bit, but like Batman and Robin. It's time to cool down. Whatever he says. Maybe it would finish above that. But it would easily be below Forever. I think Forever is an underrated movie.
Forever is the bet out of...
Better than Returns?
I mean, it is Jim Carrey at his Jim Carrey.
And Tommy Lee Jones was a little over the top. Kind of two-faced, but they were both like those two villains turned up to not even 11, like 27. You know.
Yeah.
But I thought Val was a good Batman. And then as soon as he turns around, there's just nipples everywhere. I was like, what is happening?
I don't know. But yeah, I'm super excited for this. I think Batfleck is going to be awesome.
Okay. Can I read you this and then
Yes.
continue before I forget? So I commented on Ernie's post about all y'all haters are wrong. And I was like, yeah, I said I was so wrong. He said, the reason I knew he'd be fine, speaking about Batfleck, people are going to turn in this the first time. They're like, who the hell is Batfleck?
It doesn't make sense.
No, but I said it once, so I'm going to keep going. That was like the last night before we got, I think Alana put it up on Saturday or Friday night. And she said, I thought she said, so what are we calling him? But it was like, who do we like? I think she said, who do we like more? So I clearly had a few drinks. And she said, Patman or Batfleck. And I thought it said Patman or Batfleck. And I was like, I've been calling him Batfleck for a while, and it didn't make any sense, but I just stuck with it. And then the next day I went and it was like, oh, a poll ended. And I was like, what the hell did I say? This doesn't make any sense. All right, so Ernie said, the reason I knew he'd be fine is because we have to admit to ourselves, ... Edward Cullen is just Batman without a suit or a mission. Yeah, and also he can act his freaking ass off right now.
Yeah.
I don't know, the only thing I don't know, I hate people that are making like emo Toby jokes about my Batfleck, because I don't like that.
But that's Batman. Like,
he is emo.
Right. Like, it doesn't
It's
work
just because
with Spider-Man.
he's got long hair, I guess, or something, but like, I don't know. I think he's going to knock it out of the park. If it's so weird, because I do, up to this point, I think the perfect both, like Bruce Wayne and Batman, is Affleck in Batman vs. Superman, not Justice League, because that was a travesty. I think Bale might be the best Bruce Wayne we've ever seen. But again, like if I walk up against Christian Bale, not in the mechanic, but Christian Bale, like normal Christian Bale versus normal Ben Affleck, I'm going to be like, I'll take Christian Bale. So that's what it's just. But again, Christian Bale's suit is the best. The Dark Knight suit is just, if I won the lottery tomorrow, I'd pay anybody $50,000 to make me that suit fitted to me. Well, I'll lose a little bit of weight and then have it fitted to me, and that's the suit that I want. But like, I don't know. I think Pattinson, especially because, and one of the things I did say when he got casted was like, obviously I was wrong about Heath Ledger, clearly. So I was like, I'm probably wrong about this. As of now, I'm wrong. I don't think I'm going to be proven right. There's no way I'm going to be proven right, and I don't want to be. As of now, I'm so hyped for this. Like,
when I was watching the trailer, I'm like, he's got it. This is it. Nailed it. Whatever. And then when it got to the part where he's like,
and then he beat.
I'm like, okay, that's Batman right there.
Yeah, the best on-screen Batman action scene we've ever seen. We're almost an hour in. We haven't talked about a single video game yet. Is the warehouse scene, obviously. I think everybody can agree on that. There's no other Batman fight scene on camera that's ever been that good. Name one. As good as The Dark Knight is, it's my second favorite movie of all time. There's not really any good, because it didn't need it. It was more than that.
Yeah.
That Batman warehouse scene, I've always thought it couldn't be topped. Now I'm like, ugh. And then he's getting arrested by the cops, and somebody pointed out somewhere that he's got handcuffs on when he's going after the cops, like in GCPD. So I'm wondering if it's all lies, all this other stuff is like. I wonder if at this point in time, if Gotham City is actually behind the Batman, and the Riddler is saying, "I don't like this. No, I'm going to frame him for being a serial killer or something." I don't know, but like, just seeing that one scene where he beats the ever-loving biscuits out of that dude, like there, and he looks all when he gets shot in the chest. I think it might have been Penguin that shot him. I can't remember. And just him going up there and everybody shoot when he's on the grappling hook and people are shooting at him from here and here. There, I don't know if it'll be in this movie, but Matt Reeves clearly knows how to shoot action set pieces, and I'm wondering if the warehouse scene could be dethroned. And if it is, I'd be so happy.
Yeah.
So that was DC Fandome podcast number 1.
1 hour in. That's not bad.
We're going to talk about some more DC Fandome here in a minute, but Sean.
Yes.
Did you get a chance to play anything this week?
No.
All right. I didn't go back to Ghost of Tsushima.
No.
I don't know what it is. I want to play it. I just can't. Because now I'm like, I don't even remember how to play it at this point. And now, I didn't even talk about him.
Got carried away with
Batfleck and cheetahs. Wait, cheetah? Yeah, it's cheetah. Okay. Last week I need some comedic relief right now. Last week I talked about my little dog Buddy. He wasn't doing well, and he did not pull through, and it sucks. We had him for 13 years. He's been here for all my 4 kids being born. Obviously, he was a part of our family. He's no longer with us. I had a breakdown the other day. He died last Monday. He stayed overnight, like I said in the podcast, Sunday night. Monday morning, they got him up, and he had his medicine and IVs all night, and they took him out to pee, and his heart stopped. And that was not the call expected to receive at 7:45 in the morning after dropping Eliza off and driving back to just go to work, I thought. So it sucked. It sucked telling my kids, and it was horrible. So I got 4 kids, obviously, and 2 of them especially were incredibly distraught. I have to laugh or cry. So I will say yesterday Eliza told Granny that Buddy's still dying. It's horribly sad, but like she wasn't sad about it. She's just like, he's still dying. Like, he's not. It sucked, and it continued to suck. My 2 little redheads were the ones that took it the hardest. Incredibly hard. And the next morning, Casey, who's my 6-year-old, he said to Jess, my wife, he had 2 questions. How did Buddy get sick? Which is hard to say because we don't know. And then his second question was, when can we get another dog? And it's not like he wanted to replace Buddy, and I had a hard time with it for a while because I didn't want to replace Buddy. But these kids are like me and like Sean. They're animal lovers. So fast forward a week. Let's get to the happy stuff because I don't want to talk about it anymore. We're recording this Tuesday night. Sunday afternoon, we came home with a new dog, except it's not a dog. I mean, it's a dog. It's a puppy. It's a six. I don't know why I said 6-week-old puppy. And
could fit in your.
He could. He weighs 2 pounds today at his checkup. Which is hilarious. He weighs less than the bunnies that jump around my yard. He's an Aussie Doodle. He's the cutest thing I've ever seen. Everybody loves him so much. But because of that, if you're looking at me and you're wondering why the hell does Kevin look like that, it's because for the last 2 nights I've had 4 hours of sleep, and that'll probably continue. The doctor told me today, you got to take the crate out of your room.
That's what we did.
It's going to kill me. Dad said still get up, take him to pee, and just put him back in there and deal with it. Like you said, Murphy was like 4 or 5 days.
And now Murphy pretty much lives in our bedroom. He pretty much lives in our bed.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. Like, it's going to be temporary. He's going to end up sleeping in our bed anyway, so who cares? But, yeah, we have a new doggy. We have a new puppy. The good thing is that I'm working from home because of 2020. So he's been my little work buddy every day so far, every day for 2 days. And as you know, Sean and I are big Giants fans.
That is correct.
Jess did not like the name Saquon, and I do agree he doesn't look like a Saquon. As much as I was like, whenever we get a new dog, I'm going to name him Saquon. It's like, it's not really a dog name. It's not a dog name as much as I want it to be. But I did get the family to decide on our new pup to be named Barkley. And he's 2 pounds of joy and terror and pee and poop and energy and napping and... Yes. He is the cutest little thing. So it's been a really hard week. Really, honestly, really hard last couple of weeks or 3 weeks, really, for me. But we got through it, and we got a new little bundle of joy. Mom was like, I told Mom, I was like, yeah, Sean's coming over, and I'm gonna show him the truck and whatever. And she's like, oh, is Barkley gonna come on the podcast? I'm like, Mom, no, because we might talk about DC movies for an hour before we're even ready to introduce him. But yeah, he's the best, and yeah, I have no idea what the hell triggered that. Did I say I was tired or something?
I don't know. You said something, and all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, I never even mentioned it."
Well,
but I don't remember what you said.
Oh, I haven't played Ghost of Tsushima.
Ah, yes.
Somehow that made me think of Barkley, because obviously he's a Japanese samurai. The only game I played this week, I said, the hell with it, I want to do this. I played it for 4 or 5 hours, and it was fun. But now, that's what it was. I'm not going to have any time to play video games. That's what it is, because I got a baby dog. I played Modern Warfare 2 Remastered.
And?
I like it.
Really?
I like it way better than 1, I think. The original one, not the new one. But it's been so long since I played it, so let me pull up my notes. Oh, yeah, I forgot a lot about this game because I forgot that I played it. No Russian is still in there, and it is still just so weird and horrible, and like you're going through an airport, and I didn't pull the trigger. They ask you, like, and I think the first game did ask you this, there's one mission that if you're sensitive or whatever, you might want to skip. Do you want to skip it? I said, no, I still want to go through it. And I'm just walking around, and they're mowing down everybody in this airport, and it's horrible. And then you just get capped at the end. Spoiler alert for a 10-year-old game. It's such a stupid, dumb, summer blockbuster popcorn movie video game, but I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's easily my favorite of the original trilogy of Modern Warfare. Better than the original, not as good as the reboot. It's so weird. I had forgotten how much actually takes place in America, because I don't think in the original Modern Warfare you saw that a lot. But like you're going through like a small town in the suburbs of somewhere in Virginia, and you've just got tanks going down the roads and bombers flying overhead, and it's just so surreal, and it's so cool. Like I said, I'm probably 4 or 5 hours through it. There's a part where you go through, you're going through Brazil trying to get this one guy, and you're running like on top of the favelas and everything. And at that time, I don't think the movie had come out yet, but it made me think of Fast 5, and I was like, this is like The Rock chasing Dom running through Brazil, and I miss Paul Walker, so that sucked. But yeah, it's just dumb. It's fun. I like it. I'm glad I could play this on PS4 as a free, quote-unquote, PS Plus game.
Yeah, I'll probably give it a try at some point. I mean, I bought it, but
yeah,
I haven't downloaded it yet.
I mean, it's like probably you beat it in 6, 7, 8 hours or something. I die a lot, even though I'm playing on easy. I'm like, I get to the point where I'm like, die. And I'm like, I'm just going to run. I just want to get to where it says checkpoint reached, and then I'll respawn and go from there, and it's still hard. So whatever.
Yeah.
That's what she said. All right, Sean, you want to get to the news of the week?
Let's do it.
An hour and 9 minutes in. All right, so speaking of DC Fandome, which was earlier, we got a couple announcements here. The first one I want to talk about is Gotham Knights, the much rumored
Luke
Doncic. He's not doing so well, apparently. Rasan's texting me. He's laughing. I don't like it. The much rumored, heavily anticipated, never announced until now game from WB Montreal, the creators of Arkham Origins, Gotham Knights, was officially revealed at DC Fandome. This was confusing to me, but they did clarify it. It is not part of the Arkhamverse. So I was like, wait, at the end of Arkham Knight, spoiler alert, you're never going to play it, but you already know it, and you might have forgot it, and you'll forget it after today, so who cares? I was like, did Bruce Wayne fake his death? Do we know? Did he die? Like, whatever. And then it doesn't matter because it's like a separate universe. So Bruce Wayne supposedly is dead. I believe that, like I believe Captain America's dead in the Avengers. It's an action RPG, playable in single player or online 2-player co-op. I wrote down Batman's dead, I guess. You can either play as Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, Red Hood, or Red Hood. I don't know why I said that.
Red Hood.
The Court of Owls is in the game. They had like the last minute of the trailer or so was referring to them and teasing them and everything. You can customize your characters. The RPG elements are kind of weird, but it is coming in 2021 to both PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X. Then, so they had the reveal trailer, and then they did a gameplay trailer for like 7.5 minutes. You start off, you are Batgirl on her Batgirl bike. You are going after Mr. Freeze, who is frozen a portion of the city. It's about halfway. It's what I think what they called it is a villain crime. So like there's different. What I gather is there's different story branches based on which villain you're going after with the 4 heroes. It's about halfway through his story. What I wrote down after watching is that Batgirl plays like Batman but more agile. And she's got other abilities, like she's got bats flying around her and she's got a little baton or something she's beating people's asses with. They said in the gameplay stream that so it was Batgirl playing with somebody playing as Robin. Robin was going like Nightcrawler, like boom, boom. Apparently he's using the Justice League satellite to teleport short distances. I don't know.
I didn't know that was the thing.
I don't know how I feel about other RPG elements with like you attack enemies and it's like 20, 40, 77, and it's like, nah, I don't know. And it showed when you're coming up on somebody, it says like, 17. Oh, this is level 17. I'm only a 13. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. They did show tag team moves where Robin and Batgirl were kicking somebody's ass with both of them kicking that one ass, and it was awesome. Enemies do scale. So they were talking about in the Mr. Smith, the little bit they showed of the Mr. Freeze boss fight that they're like, oh, I mean, you might come up against him when you're a level 5, but now this Batgirl's a level 15, so Mr. Freeze has leveled with her, and he's got extra abilities and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't like that.
Yeah, what is the point? Like,
why
would I
level up?
Yeah, if it's just going to make all the enemies level up, I don't know. That's weird.
But yeah, this is a cross-gen game, and I wrote down here, I'm not sure how this is a cross-gen game. Sorry for your ears. This game has when I first saw it, I was like, this is everything I was worried about. There's no Batman. It's multiplayer, but it's multiplayer, but it's not Avengers where it's like a games as a service title, which is good. And the other game we're going to talk about here in a minute is not either. So it actually has grown on me. I think I watched the gameplay trailer 2 times. It looks cool. It does not look like a current gen game. I think if you're playing this on PS4 or Xbox One, it's going to suck. It's not going to suck, but it's going to run like booty, not the good booty. What did you think about the reveal finally after like a year and a half of teasing by WB Montreal of Gotham Knights?
I'm not really sure how I feel. It's a game that I'll probably end up getting. I do kind of like the RPG stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
how it
way
works
more
with
you
like
than me.
Batman. I also don't like that there is no Batman, supposedly.
I don't believe it for a second. Watch him be a PlayStation exclusive like Spider-Man. Just watch.
I kind of see it being, and I won't spoil anything, but I kind of see them going, like, well, I mean...
you can't spoil anything. It's not
well, no, because I'm comparing it to another game, but like God of War and what happened.
Okay.
Like, I feel like...
that's going to be the mid-game reveal?
Maybe, yeah. So
at this point, can we even... if you want to play God of War, you played it.
Well, yeah, probably.
We're still not going to say it, but yeah.
I don't know. But, like, I don't want to play Batgirl and Robin. Like, give me Batman. It'd be like, hey, here's an X-Men game, but you can only play as Iceman and...
you can't be Wolverine and Cyclops.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of other crappy X-Men. Jubilee, the one with like the fireworks. Like, no, like I want Wolverine, I want Cyclops.
Gambit,
like,
yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just kind of so on it. I kind of feel like about how I felt about Ghost. Like, I might get it, but I'm gonna just wait and see. Like,
yeah, I'm not really doing a good job selling you on Ghost at this point.
We'll talk. I'm more excited about the other one. I'll say that, knowing nothing about it.
Really?
As of right now.
Oh, boy, baby. So I will
As of
say,
right now, I am, yeah.
But all we get... okay.
I mean, but yeah, we don't know anything
so,
about it.
I don't like that it's not in the Arkhamverse. That's going to get fixed here in a minute. I don't like the numbers popping. That was one of the things that took me out of Destiny, and I know it is how it is what it is, but like it took me out of that. I don't like the numbers stuff. I like it in certain games. I don't know that I would like it in this, but the more I watch the gameplay, I'm like, it's still the Arkham style of gameplay. And we're actually seeing gameplay. It's pre-alpha, but it's gameplay. Not out till next year. I will say both these games, I was disappointed. I think they're both a year too late, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more excited for Gotham Knights than I am for Avengers after having played it. Because no part of me wants to play Avengers at this point.
No.
Oh, no hitter by the White Sox. Cool. No, someone's at the door. Okay, well, we're all going to die. All right. The only other game that was talked about at DC Fandome, which is a dome name, we got the full kind of reveal of Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League. It is out in 2022. Arkham Knight came out in June of 2015, and it wasn't that good, in my opinion. Hashtag BatTank. Hashtag suck it, James Solar. I love you. 5 years later, so I got mad when people were like, oh, 5 years later, and this is how you reveal the Suicide Squad. You just do a .jpg. And I was like, oh, shut up. They're going to show it all and whatever. And then they revealed it, and it was CG. Now, I love Rocksteady. I also hate on Xbox a lot because most of their quote-unquote gameplay reveals are CG trailers. So I have to give the same level of hate with a little bit of love slant to the Rocksteady reveal. So let's talk about this. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is a continuation of the, as they're calling it now, which I really like actually, the Arkhamverse. So I assume that means, but it goes back to what I was confused about, Gotham Knights. I don't remember if Bruce/Batman actually killed himself. It's a 5-year-old game. I don't care. I don't think we know because it was implied that he killed himself, but then if you got the actual ending when you get all 750 Riddler trophies and beat him in a racing match and then fight him in a big like Dr. Robotnik thing and at the end, all that's legit. By the way, you have to race him in the tunnels and then he's in a big robot thing like Eggman. It's implied in like the post credit scene that like, are these criminals suffering some kind of fear toxin or something, or is Batman still around? I think he's still around. So I won't be surprised if he shows up in this, but it is in the Arkhamverse, which is good. The game will take place in Metropolis in an open world setting. It stars Harley Quinn, King Shark, which I just cannot deal with. Oh, finger. Do you want to know who's voicing King Shark? You probably Googled it.
I didn't.
You will literally never guess.
Well, then I'm not going to bother guessing.
Take a guess. James Spader.
Bob Saget.
No. Okay, close enough. Samoa Joe. I did not hear that at all when I watched the trailer. Now I want to go back and watch it again. But yeah, Samoa Joe is voicing King Shark. I feel like I could have picked...
Huh. Okay, I do need to watch that then.
Maybe I'll get it when you actually see gameplay. I feel like there's like 4 or 5 others you could have picked over King Shark, but that's just me. Deadshot and Captain Boomerang are playable. You can play it solo with the AI acting as the other characters, where you can freely switch between all 4 characters at will, or you can play 4-player online co-op. That's our new podcast coming. 4-player online co-op. I wrote it's a CG trailer, of course. What I wrote down here is the voice acting is good. Superman looks awesome, but I just don't know. Thoughts? So you're more hyped for this. I'm a little bit more hyped. I'm not like over the moon for either of these games, and that makes me sad, honestly.
Well, yeah, I'm not too crazy about either, but one is Batgirl, Nightwing, Robin, Red Hood,
disparage
and
Batgirl.
Mr. Freeze. And the other is like Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Superman.
It
maybe
looks
Batman.
oh God, what's her name? I can't remember her name that played Harley Quinn in the Arkham games. It sounds like she's back, so that makes me happy. Her design looks similar to the Arkham games. That makes me happy. That sounded weird. But it just like it does seem like it's the Arkham verse.
Yeah.
Deadshot looks cool. King Shark, I just can't deal with. Boomerang, I just assume he's going to be over the top ridiculous, and he is. So I'm like, okay, that checks out. I don't like King Shark. I just maybe that's what's holding.
What about Baby Shark? I don't know. We don't know. We know nothing about it. But maybe that just tells you how much I really just don't care too much about Gotham Knights. Like, I'm more excited for a game that we know nothing about right now.
Okay, so this was one thing I screenshotted from Wario64. Suicide Squad, this comes from the press release. It will combine the studio's signature character-driven story gameplay with third-person shooter action to deliver a gaming experience unlike any other. In the back of my mind, I'm like, this game hasn't sold me yet, but again, it's just a CG trailer. But really, it's been 5 years, and you just show, like, not 1 second of gameplay. I get it. They kind of hinted at the switching between the characters and everything in that trailer. The Superman reveal was really well done, I will say. Like, because Amanda Waller is saying, like, Alpha Target, is that what she said?
Yeah.
Alpha Target's in the open, and they don't even know who they're hunting, which is hilarious because the Suicide Squad is just a bunch of idiots. So it makes sense that they wouldn't even know they're going after Superman. But then he shows up, and they're like, oh, you saved that guy. That's cool. And King Shark's like, Samoa Joe's like, hi, Superman. How's it going? And then he's like, like, oh, that guy's dead. And obviously he's being controlled. I just wonder what other members of the Justice League are going to be in this. I assume they're saying Bruce won't because we have to just believe that he killed himself in Arkham Knight. I think it has potential. I really shouldn't even, honestly, I feel bad now. I shouldn't even judge it on this because we don't know what the actual game is. We know Rocksteady's awesome. We're never going to get a Ninja Turtles game. But we know they're awesome. I have to think they know what they're doing after 5 years. 7 by the time this actually comes out. If it comes out in 22, or if we're even all alive in 22. Hopefully an asteroid hits us before then. I'm kidding. It was just a column line. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, neither game... I mean, I don't know. I'm not super excited about either game. But I guess I'm more hopeful for Suicide Squad.
Yeah, maybe it's just that we actually saw gameplay from Legends. It's why I'm like, okay, that looks like Arkham Knights. What the hell is Gotham Legends?
It's the next one in 2027.
Can we cover it?
Yes. Okay. I don't think so.
Before this goes live. So yeah, the movies were better than the games at DC Fandome. That's why we spent so much time on them. Next up, Sony announced this week that Ghost of Tsushima is getting its Legends update this fall.
That's why he said Legends.
Oh, crap. Thank you. Because it's right there. It is a separate, free co-op mode coming to the game, like I said, this fall. It will focus on haunting and fantastical elements based on Japanese folklore. There will be 4 different classes with different advantages for each. There will be both story modes, which are 2-player co-op. It might be fun. And survival missions, which are like the wave-based, like, there's 100 guys trying to kill us with swords, and there's 4 of us online co-op, 4-player co-op, a podcast. When I heard this, I was like, why? This doesn't make any sense for this game. But then I was like, man, you know what? There's so many games that like delay their release to tack on some stupid multiplayer mode that nobody wants. And this is just like, I've never heard one whisper of this. Not that I'm not an insider, but I'm saying I haven't seen anybody leaking anything related to this. And all of a sudden it's just on a random Tuesday. They're like, hey, y'all like Ghost? Cool. You're going to get some free content this fall. 2-player co-op or 4-player co-op. Raids, story missions, everything. We're leaning into the fantastical element of Japanese folklore. So I've come around on this, and I'm like, this is probably how you should do a multiplayer expansion. And it makes me wonder, I'm pretty sure at this point that Horizon Forbidden West is going to have, because remember we talked about, I don't even know what it was, 2 months ago or 3 months ago, there was rumors that Horizon, the developers of Horizon at Guerrilla wanted to include an online co-op mode before that came out. And they wanted to be a trilogy, obviously. After seeing this, I'm like, we are 100%. I don't think it's going to be part of the game. They're not going to make it like Destiny or something where you have to have like 7 Aloys team up and take down a Thunderjaw. But I do think this is interesting. Also, there will be no microtransactions in this also. Good on you, Sony. I think for sure random connection, but to me this means we're definitely getting a multiplayer mode, a co-op mode in Horizon Forbidden West, which I'm actually okay with. I think that game, when you're talking like a Monster Hunter kind of game, if you're just going after like the real big game targets, I think it could work. I'm way off track now. I think this is a great update for Ghost of Tsushima. I think it's awesome that they're not charging for it. I think it's cool that it came out of freaking nowhere. And I'm happy that people are happy. Also, number 4, I really need to beat this game. I need to play the game more, and I need to beat it.
Yeah. It seems like a cool addition, but, I mean, I still have yet to get the game. I don't know. If I haven't yet, I don't know when I will. But, yeah, I mean, I dig it. It seems kind of cool.
Dressed like a ghost. Dig it. We got a little bit more PlayStation 5 news this week. There were some updates on the good old PlayStation DualSense haptic feedback. And some developers talked about how they're going to use them in their games. I'm going to talk about a couple of them now. Just like Insomniac's Spider-Man Miles Morales. Quote, the haptic feedback precision allows us to do all sorts of new things. In Marvel's Spider-Man... Oh my God, this game is so... In Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, we'll be hinting to players which direction attacks are coming from by providing haptic feedback. Did you just give me haptic feedback? Yep, you did. From the appropriate direction on the DualSense controller. What does it feel like to use Miles' stealth ability? Well, how does a Venom Blast feel? Because of the high resolution of DualSense's wireless controller's haptics system, we can really push the dimension of the feedback. For instance, as you hold down square to do a Falcon Punch, you feel Spider-Man's bioelectricity crackle from the left side of the controller, culminating in the right side on impact. That is freaking awesome.
I like that a lot.
Next up, Deathloop. I'm really excited by the adaptive triggers and the haptic feedback, both features that will bring some physicality in game experiences. Deathloop being a first-person shooter, we do a lot of things to make weapons feel differently from one another. One I like is blocking the triggers when your weapon jams.
That's cool.
How is this even possible? A couple others I want to do. Horizon Forbidden West features new weapons that are designed to feel unique and play a specific role in combat with machines and human opponents. The DualSense wireless controller adaptive triggers will help us to make the weapons feel even more unique. And that sucked. Talk about the bow and arrow, you idiot. Demon Souls. With the DualSense's wireless controller and the power of haptics, we can make the combat in Demon Souls feel grittier, darker, and deadlier. Now you feel every blow as you strike down your enemies and cast each spell. You'll experience the force of a titanic boss's attack as you pull off a well-timed guard. Metal strikes metal when your foes block your attacks or you block theirs. Okay. That extra sensory feedback through the controller, is it going to make me have like freaking... You scratch metal and metal, it's like...
Maybe.
I don't like that, Raymond. That extra sensory feedback through the controller allows you to know your attack hit home and your perfectly timed parry was a success, so you can react faster and more decisively. Pull a lever, whatever. Okay, Ratchet and Clank. The adaptive triggers are something we're excited to feature in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. For instance, the Enforcer is a dual-barreled shotgun-type weapon. As you pull the trigger, you'll fire from one barrel, and you can feel the resistance around halfway down the trigger. Need a bigger blast? Get a bigger bolt. Pull the trigger through that resistance point, and you'll fire both barrels at the same time. So, the funny thing, and then Gran Turismo, I'm going over rocks, I'm going over sand. It's so coarse. So it's cool to get that detailed. I think we heard a lot of that before, but it's really, to me, it's the Spider-Man stuff. Because, like, Horizon, obviously, we're going to feel like if you've ever actually shot a bow, you know what it feels like to pull it back. And clearly, we're going to feel that through the haptic system, whatever, the haptic feedback. Also, they close out the post by saying, we will be getting more info on the PlayStation 5 in the, quote, coming weeks. That could be 2 weeks, it could be 20 weeks. So who knows? But I'm hoping it means 2. Also, a couple more items here. The roster of launch games, according to Sony, will, quote, be the best lineup that we've ever seen in the history of PlayStation. I feel like, well, is it in the wrap-up? Bad. I'm going to talk about it here. Remind me, I'm going to cover it again. Who cares? Demon Souls has been rated in Korea and Japan. If it's already rated, that means it's basically ready for release. I think in addition to Spider-Man Miles Morales, the PS5 is going to get the Demon Souls remake at release.
I mean, that's all I need. Give me those 2 games.
Ratchet can wait.
Good.
Yeah, and Horizon can wait. Give me those.
Yeah.
But they did also, they have reiterated that the PlayStation 5 is still coming out this year multiple times. But it is a, quote, massive challenge on every front because of COVID, manufacturing, everything. They also did release their first commercial spot for the PS5. I thought it was a little bit... what's the word? Hoity-toity. It was just like they were up their own butts. As much as I love Sony...
Self-indulgent.
That is it. That is correct.
That is it.
What do you think about all that? The haptic feedback?
I think it's awesome. I love it. I mean, it sounds very Nintendo. Like, oh, you can shake a controller and guess how many ice cubes are in your glass. And it's like, I don't think what those controllers do is any different than any controller that has ever had a rumble function in it. Like, so I don't know.
Well, but also
that's my one, like, kind of hesitation here. But I think if they wouldn't say all that if it wasn't true, I like it. I dig it.
Dressed like a DualSense. Did you see the patent that came out this week that apparently they've got a patent that shows that...
Batfleck?
They have a Batfleck that shows that, like, they can detect based on, like, the sensors in the DualSense and the way you hold the controller. Like, if I pick up a controller, it can be like, oh, this is Kevin's account. Or if Noah does, oh, this is Noah's or Nick or Casey playing, he's always going to do is play Minecraft on the PS5. There's a patent that says something about the way you hold it with all the sensors they've got in there. They can tell who's holding the controller. It's just these damn controllers might cost $100. Like I thought 80, but now I'm like, you I don't know.
Yeah.
What I'm most interested to see is if we actually do get more info in the coming weeks, because honestly, we have to. It's almost September. These things are coming out in like
2.5 months, hopefully. Well, about 3 months.
Yeah. So like 10 weeks, right?
Like 11, 12 weeks. 12 weeks.
All right. And I'm going to skip that because nobody cares. Let's go to the wrap-up. Black Ops Cold War is official. The reveal is coming August 26th, which means, based on when I'm actually able to post this, because we're recording later than normal, it's probably already happened. But the leaks are saying that it is, and this tickles my fancy, a direct sequel to Black Ops 1, which makes me wonder, are they going to include a remastered version of Black Ops with this game? Did anything move or no? I try to stay still. No, but in all seriousness, so you probably already know about Black Ops by the time this is live, because I don't know if this is going to go up tomorrow. But no, but in all seriousness, there was another leak that came out that it looks like the only way you're going to get a free next-gen upgrade with Black Ops Cold War is if you buy like the Ultimate Edition or something. And I'm like, I don't want the Ultimate Edition, but if the Ultimate Edition is like $80 and you get Black Ops 1 remastered with it, what I think I might do is buy it on PS4, play Black Ops 1. When I get my PS5, do the upgrade, play Black Ops Cold War on the PS5. I'm trying to hold it together and you're not helping at all. Because I just went... It broke me. Sean.exe finally crashed. Kevin.exe has crashed so many times. Okay. All right, let's wrap. God almighty. Okay. I'm so tired. I have not slept. I've had 8 hours of sleep in 2 days total. Like I said, Demon Souls could be a launch game. All right. Deathloop was delayed until Q2 2021. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous for some other games getting delayed. I assume Cyberpunk will be delayed 5 more times just because it already has. If Miles Morales gets delayed, I will burn this place to the ground. No, just kidding. We're all best friends. What does Dwight say? If you take this from me, I will burn this place to the ground. But I love you. We're best friends.
Yeah, something like that.
Fall Guys Season 2 reveal is coming for opening night live of Gamescom on the 27th. Sean is sweating out of his eyes. 16 million players so far on PS4. That's crazy. It's a free game. Hopefully y'all are buying microtransactions so they can keep supporting the game, but I'm not going to do it.
I haven't played it in like at least a week now.
I'm never going to get a win, so what's the point? I got some trophies. Cool. Crysis Remastered has a new release date of September 18th. That's cool. It was originally, I think, supposed to come out in June, and then it sucked, so they delayed it. Hitman 3 is an Epic Store exclusive on PC. You're like Jim in the outtakes right now. You're trying so hard. When Michael pushes the TV back on the wall and Jim just loses it like 15 times in a row, that's you. Why are you laughing? I'm like... Stupid face. I can't wait to watch this back. God, I hope the audio doesn't get corrupted. I'm so tired. So Hitman 3, this sucks. It's an Epic Store exclusive on PC. It'll eventually come to the Valve, but it'll probably be a week, a year. And the Firewatch movie is alive, Sean. We talked about this like 17 years ago on the podcast. There's a movie adaptation coming, but...
Adaptation?
God. Adaptation. That's like when I say documentary, but I think it's supposed to be documentary.
It's not supposed to be documentary.
I know, but it's like you're a documentarian. You're not a documentarian. That's what documentarian. Anyways, Snoot Entertainment has picked up the rights to the movie. They made Blind Spotting and Little Monsters. We're exhausted at this point. I'm just saying, like, the Firewatch movie has another chance at life. I didn't even realize that production had stopped, but it did. Or not even production. I should say pre-production. But they're still trying to make a Firewatch movie. Hopefully it'll happen. That game is awesome. If you haven't bought it, it's probably $10 now or $5 on sale somewhere. Play the game. It's awesome. I need to go back and play it. This has been episode 197 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. Thank you all so much for being here, especially these last 5 minutes. You can find us on nerd901.com, where they are connecting nerds across the Mid-South and the multiverse. I try to say Mid-Saltyverse. Also, check out youtube.com/blurredwithoutfear and twitch.tv/blurredwithoutfear. Obviously, you can find us on Twitter. I'm at KevinWhite24. He's at RealSeanWhite. Together, we're at _.
I'm running out of things to do with my hands.
Go up.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Patreon if you like us. Twitch if you want to see us not stream. YouTube, all that other stuff. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to go take care of my puppy and maybe sleep. But until the next time, Sean, going to take us out?
Thank you for playing.